Welcome back to Athletic Everyday Day number 363. Got a plyo session here for you, plyos only. I was kind of planning on doing an upper body session after this one, but my shoulders were feeling pretty toast after those dips yesterday, so I think I'll do the upper body day later on this week. But simple session, started out the session with 20 meters of extensive plyometrics, so 20 meters, and doing multiple directions. So I'm going forwards, backwards, and then diagonal on two legs and then single leg essentially. Great way to warm up the lower leg. This was a lot of ground contacts in this session, and I have to say my shins and kind of like my lower leg in general was just feeling very beat up after this session, but very stimulating. Again, it probably wasn't too much volume, it was probably just the right amount. But I always find that when I do like high intensity but also high volume plyometrics, then it's not really my knees or anything else that starts to become the issue. It's more my lower leg. So my shins, I guess you could say, like what would be the beginnings of shin splints, like inflammation along the fascia on the foot and ankle complex and up the shins. But all in all, good session. The split jumps, I thought initially that it was supposed to be like sets of, it was just a timer of 10 minutes. You're just supposed to go continuously for 10 minutes. So like, maybe some like higher volume jumps. But actually when I looked at the description for the exercise, split squat jumps were supposed to be maximal attempts. So that's when I started to incorporate the box. But, it's maximal attempts, but, just trying to get as much variety as possible. So this was the only set where I was just trying to jump as high as possible after every jump, doing like repeating, alternating split squat jumps, I guess you could call it. And then I figured for the last set, I'd incorporate, box to elevate the front foot. You could also elevate the back foot as well, just get creative. And then I guess you could say this is like the real meat of the workout, which is the hurdle jumps. I always like to gauge on the first set for hurdle jumps, just to have a little bounce in between the hurdles, just to gauge, where I'm at, sort of test out the water with how high I'm actually able to jump. And then on the following set, I will do it without the jump in the middle, the balancing jump or whatever you want to call it. I guess you could say that extra jump gives you some extra ground contacts. You're sort of having a bounce in between, but I quite like that reversal. It does increase the ground contact time, but it also increases the force that you're going to be putting out per jump. And it also increases the intensity because the jump that you change over with is then, so you're coming down, you're not having to hop, you're not having to pause and then hop again. You're just reversing momentum and just going straight away again. So you're landing and then jumping with intent to clear the hurdle again. I actually prefer this style where you're just bouncing off the ground every single time. You'll see here, on a few hurdles, like if maybe my landing wasn't right, I'd have to pause, do a little hop to balance and then go again. But generally I'm trying to clear the hurdles in one jump each time. So that was forwards and then sideways, and then last couple of sets I set the hurdles up in a diagonal fashion, just so I could get some ground contact where it's not completely linear, as in like up and down, like directly down into the ground. The force is kind of coming in like obliquely, which is also what I'm achieving with the single leg diagonal bounds, the alternating bounds as well, which you're seeing here. So diagonal alternating bounds, switching from leg to leg, trying to cover as much distance laterally as possible, meaning that at that ground contact, when you hit the ground, there's not just the vertical component of the force, of your body, of gravity acting on your body. There's also that horizontal component as well of your velocity and your mass traveling sideways, which means that in order to prevent yourself from falling over, you have to put force into the ground kind of sideways. This kind of has a decent amount of carryover. It's kind of specific to how you would jump for a vertical jump. When you jump, you almost never jump straight upwards. Your momentum is never coming in like straight forwards. It's going to be coming in at a sort of oblique diagonal angle. So these are very useful drills for just training the ankle to accept and produce force in those ranges of motion, pronation and supination, or inversion, eversion, whatever you want to call it for the ankle. And that was pretty much it for today's workout, guys. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.